I wanted to come to you live for a moment to talk about the reasons why I chose to jump into this industry. When you're out there and you're looking for some opportunities, there's a lot of different routes you could go. And one of the routes is being a independent contractor or 1099. We see it a lot in this country. You see a lot of people who, they're trying to be their own business. Like you see it in construction. You got people that are, business owners trying to be, in their own realm. They're trying to control their schedules. And for me, I was in a position where, I had a pretty tight schedule to work with, and I had a limited amount of hours to get done some of the things I needed to get done with some of the obligations that I had. And so I had a strict schedule that I needed to follow. And one of the biggest things I was running into was just a time constraint. I came from a spot where I had to make a lot of calls. And I came from face-to-face customer service, sales, solutions specialist. In fact, I can just go back on it. I used to work at Verizon. I was in my senior year of college, and I was 23 years old, I think. And I was like 12 hours away from graduating, and I was so tired of being broke and not having money. I was sick of it. I was absolutely just fed up with it. And I was like, it's time to start working. Like, I've been working on this business degree. I've been doing all these different things. It's time to make some money just so I can pay for stuff. I'm tired of not having enough money to pay for gas, pay for bills, things like that. So I was like, let's go ahead and start working. So I got a few different opportunities, and one of them was an interview with Verizon Wireless, and I heard I could make like $50K. I could make like $50,000 my first year. And I remember that being like a big deal to me. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I was like, all right, let me check this out. And I remember getting the interview, and they were like, yeah, we just don't know if your class schedule will work with like the hours that you're going to have to perform at the job. And I remember being in the interview, and I looked them in the eye and I said, there was like 7 or 8 different managers from across the region. Like there was like 8 different managers that ran 8 different stores for the corporate Verizons. And I was like, if I get this job, I will drop out of school. And they just kind of got like, and then they were trying to sell me on the job. They were like, well, we help you pay for school, and like they do actually do that. There's some pretty cool stuff that they do to help you like get through college, and they're not encouraging you to drop out of college, but they need you to be able to work the hours that they need you to work, and they're retail hours. And if those hours are not 9 to 6, it's like 11 to 7, 11 to 8, 5 a.m. to 3, or, just crazy stuff, right? So, and they also don't schedule you around your school. That you have to schedule your school around the job. So that was an interesting experience. I got to meet with a lot of people on a daily basis, and whenever you get to do that, you learn quite a bit about people. You learn quite a bit about yourself. And so I decided eventually to get into the life insurance space after having a lot of work-life experience over the next 3-4 years. I really kind of stumbled into this opportunity because I was in a business where I had to make cold calls to business owners who kind of knew who I was working for, but didn't really know what that company could do for them. And it was my job to find the needs and the wants of the owner, find out what their problem was, see if I could find some pain that they were experiencing with their salespeople, and then just help solve that with what I offered, which was sales training. And so then after that, stumbling into a job where someone was getting inbound phone calls through an underserved market. The senior market gets hammered with phone calls. They get hammered with mail, Medicare, final expense. And then on top of that, if you've ever filled out a survey online by mistake, if you've ever tried to win that free iPad out there, you were getting hammered with dealership warranty has expired. You were getting hit with all kinds of stuff. And so we have a market that is inundated with information and phone calls. And really what I want to tell you is that I didn't ever expect to be in this industry, but there was a market that needed our help, and they needed someone who could really just help steer them to what they wanted and make life easier, because we've all been called by like a foreign call center. We don't use call centers for Medicare that are not U.S. based. It's against the law, and we don't do that. So the good news is that our people are opting in. You know, they're mailing in cards to us, and then those are being distributed to agents, and they're going to be able to call that person and just fulfill a want and a need, whether it be in person or over the phone. And when you come from the cold calling business owner world, B2B sales, business to business, when you get an inbound call, like, that's amazing. You know, that's easy. You know, this person's calling you because they have a problem, a question, and you're just there to provide the solution. And that's all it really is. And let's just face it, you know, when you go somewhere to a restaurant or somewhere, just anywhere you go where there's people behind a counter and they have a register, ask yourself, like, what's that experience like? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it okay? Like, we've all seen probably all of those things, the good, the bad, the ugly, of customer service interactions between people at restaurants, between, like, you know, being at a restaurant, a store. You just need like a simple thing, a product, a service, whatever it is. I found myself into a market that was extremely underserved, and really, you know, there's a lot of people in this business who aren't very good at their job. And I say that because it's not easy, so there's a lot of turnover, and you get rejected, and it's very interesting to see how many people try it. They get licensed. That takes a lot of work. They have to pass a background check, very extensive. You can't have any felonies in the last 7 years. Like, I know someone who had something from 15 years ago, and it was something silly. I don't even know if they were an adult yet, or maybe they were 18 years old and now they're in their 30s. I've seen it several times. And then that's coming back to bite them when they're trying to get licensed as an insurance agent. So it's very strict. You're licensed through the state. And then on top of that, you know, there's quite a bit of training that you do after you get licensed. And then to go through all that and then just not even make the call, or to make calls and get rejected a few times and then give up, that's really what ends up happening to people, and then they quit. So when you talk to an agent, if you're a customer, most of them give up so quickly. You know, they give up fast. So most of them don't make it past 3 years. In fact, 8% of agents will make it after 36 months. So when you're talking to somebody, there's a very high chance that they haven't been doing this very long. But for me, like, I've made it past that. So I'm in the top 8%, but I've also performed very well amongst my peers in that 8%. And just I say that to say this, like, I just didn't give up. I'm not the best thing I bring to the table, whether it's always been sports or whatever I was doing, was just not giving up. You can ask a lot of people that have known me through my lifetime. You can ask my older brothers. You can ask my high school football coach. You can ask my MMA jiu-jitsu coach from Oklahoma. I do not, like, I won't back down, and I don't quit. So that's really all it was. It's not like I'm just have this amazing talent, or, oh, look at me, I'm incredible. You know, I do practice and train a lot, you know, trying to be the best I can. You know, I'm always working on how I can have a better communication, better conversation with the person. I'm looking at how I can improve the experience for the person, not for me, not for the company, but for the person. Because if you take care of the person, then you're taking care of yourself and the company. But it's really putting that customer first, and it sounds cliche, it sounds corny, whatever you want to say, but I got into this industry because I saw there was an opportunity for an underserved market. And to me, it looks like opportunity. And it also is interesting because it does well during times of economic strife. So in 2008, in 2020, 2021, and 2022, we could all agree that 2008, 9, 10, you know, and then now, these last few years, things are picking back up, but it's been tough for a lot of industries and a lot of people. The automobile industry, the real estate industry, like the great ones are always going to make it. They're always going to make it. They always have, they always will. But a lot of people come in and out of those businesses, and it creates a bad experience for the customer. So if you can just be in it to win it, and just the only way you can fail is if you give up, that it's anything you try new is difficult. I mean, if you quit something today, you're starting something new tomorrow. So you might as well water the grass where you're at right now. I don't encourage people to quit their jobs. But if you're in a fish tank that's only this big, then, you know, what do we hear about, you know, sea creatures? They can only get as big as their environment. So if you need to get into a bigger environment, I mean, I live in Miami, Florida. I graduated with 57 people. Like, come on. Like, a lot of people told me I was crazy. You know, a lot of people got upset, you know, or acted upset when I moved, whether they were actually upset or not. I don't know. But like, they acted upset. You know, of course you're going to miss your family. You want to see your family. You want to be near your family. But I came to Miami for a job opportunity. And I knew that if that job didn't work out, it's Miami. I'm going to find somebody who needs somebody to hustle, to work hard, to be there for them, to support the customer, to treat people well, to be friendly, to hustle. Like, when they ask you to go get something, how quickly do you move? Like, I'm the kind of guy that's like practically running to go grab the thing that they need, you know? So I'm bending over backwards. I'm moving fast, customer service, speed is power. And that's my power, you know, is that I move quick. If you've been with me on a vacation, if you've walked with me anywhere, sometimes I walk faster than people jog, you know, and that's not to be like, oh, I'm amazing, look at me. It's just like, that's how I am. That's how I'm wired. And, you know, that's not everybody at all. And, you know, there's certain jobs and opportunities for people that suit their needs. But for me, you know, if you're a hard worker, if you like to communicate, like right now, like, I don't always feel comfortable. Like, I'm on live. Like, there could be hundreds of people that watch, or it could be one person that's watching, and you can say whatever you want about me, and people can come on here and comment. But you got to stay motivated. You got to stay inspired and love what you're doing. You know, I don't always love what I'm doing. There's a lot of days I don't want to work. There's a lot of days I don't want to do anything. I could be watching a movie right now, but I'm here talking to you guys because, you know, I rejected the idea of insurance for a long time because I didn't even understand what it meant. In fact, if we just look at the definition of insurance, it says a practice or arrangement which a company provides a guarantee of compensation. They like to use a lot of big words. They're going to guarantee you're going to get some money, okay, for a loss of some kind, right? In return for a payment, whether it's an illness, a death, damage. So, like, can you imagine driving a $60,000 car without car insurance? I mean, I would like to have insurance on it. I don't, you know, if it gets banged up and it was somebody who hit me and maybe it wasn't my fault, I always think everything's my fault if I was involved in it or not. Whether they got hit me or I got rear-ended, it's still my fault. If that happens, I'd like to get my car damage fixed, you know, and have it paid for. That's just it's unattractive. This isn't like an attractive business. Like, I avoided it. I was turned off by it. I pushed people away. But I did see it as like, oh, wow, if I'm rejecting it, if I'm too stubborn to look at it, if I'm too arrogant in my arrogance. I rejected a man in a business auditorium who was networking, probably trying to find some young hustlers. And I was that stubborn 20, 21-year-old kid who thought he knew more than this 40-year-old man who was talking about the renewals he was getting in life insurance or whatever insurance he was offering. And I wouldn't even engage in the conversation. And I could sense that I was being stubborn, and I was being the thing that I don't necessarily even like, is someone who won't even like maybe listen or at least hear your side of the story and why you think it's a good thing. When you're in a public setting and it's just like, hey, we're just kind of here to network and meet each other, but yet I won't even really like want to hear about what he does, but I would expect him to hear about what I want to do or what I'm trying to do at the time. That's just kind of being hypocritical. And I realized at that moment, that was a mistake. And I didn't realize it until like 5 or 6 years later. This is the kind of thing, like, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. If I had have started this, I'm 31, I'll be 32 this month. If I would have started this business when I was 18 years old, I don't even know. This would be completely completely different place. This would be completely different. Everything would be at a higher heightened level because I've only continued to learn and grow in the industry, and it's just, there's no shortage of opportunity at all. Why did I pick this business? Well, first of all, I'm licensed to offer multiple things. So I mastered final expense telesales over the phone. So I offer life insurance to people who requested the information. They requested it online or through a mail-in or whatever, and then basically just service that person and get it done for them. Just get it done. And a lot of people like to put it on the back burner, so you kind of learn about human procrastination. A lot of my customers, if they could have a plaque that said professional procrastinator, that would be extremely appropriate. If you're in the business, you know exactly what I'm talking about, or maybe you're in another sales or customer facing role and you know exactly what I mean when I say people like to procrastinate. People like to be a little dishonest, tell a little white lie just to kind of to put it off or not do it now, but yet they literally filled out the thing saying like, basically, I want this, please call me, here's my number, here's my address, here's my name, date of birth, zip code, here's my favorite color, here's who I want to leave it to. And then for me to call you when you're getting 30 calls a day and then you actually answer this one time, and then for me to not just help you get this thing done so you can cross it off your list and not have to worry about it anymore, and so that you could put your attention on all the other things you need to get done, that would be unethical of me. Sorry, but that's just how it is. And that's what I do, and that's what I get paid to do. And it's that skill right there to push when other people would say, oh, you're right, I'll even though you're sitting at home in a beanbag eating Cheetos and watching Wheel of Fortune, yeah, I know you don't want to talk. I'll call you later. Now, if I hear the grocery checkout aisle going, or you're in the doctor's office and I can hear it in the background because I can hear it when you are, or I can hear it when you're driving, I just know what's going on because I just know what it sounds like because I've been on tens of thousands of phone calls at this point. And, if it's the right time, even if it's partially the right time, we're going to get it done, And that's just having a few skills that you can add into the mix. Like what I just said right there, if you were to write down some of the things I said, you could just use that when you talk to people, and it would help you produce revenue for the company you're working for. So my goal is to add value. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't make money off of this. If you want to come work with us, cool. If you just want to get into the business, do it. Even if it's just go check out these other companies. Let me know how they're doing. I know what we're doing. I know where we're going. A lot of people, the future is important to people. What does the next 5 to 10 years look like for LC Financial Group? Well, we do primarily Medicare, and I see ourselves, creating an office in all 50 states. A lot of people say like, why did you choose this industry? Well, because of the opportunity. I was going to be working at Verizon for 20 years to make multiple six-figure income. I don't know about you, but I realized that $70,000 a year is tough. I have to pay taxes. I want to put my kids through school. I'd like to put them through private school or have the option to do so. Nothing wrong. I went to public school and so did my parents. We're doing okay. So I would say that, there's nothing wrong with that, but I would prefer to have the freedom to do some other things that I want to do, which might be put kids in private school, have college paid for, if college is even something that we're going to do or that they want to do. Having enough money to provide, if somebody gets ill, we want to be able to pay the medical bills. If I want to help my family, my parents pay for something, if I want to take my family on a trip somewhere really cool and help people get there, be it flight, driving, whatever, I want to be able to throw some money down on that. And, that's some bigger long-term goals. LC Financial Group provides the opportunity to, work as much or as little as you want, but you should treat it like a full-time job and, produce a multiple six-figure residual income in just a few years. I mean, that is actually real. Income is always based on your results. I'm not here to make any income claims or anything like that, but people join this business for the renewals and the residual income and the ability to grow as a leader. Like if you think you're good with people and you've helped people produce the same results that you've produced, and you've produced significant results yourself, and you want to be able to help other people, and it's all about helping others. First you're helping the customer, then you're helping people help customers. And that's really where the value is when you can successfully help people help other people, and then teach people how to do that. That's tremendous. Like that is irreplaceable. That's amazing, and really just caring and treating people well. I mean, I can't speak enough on, treating people, just treating them great, treating them well, because it's hard to find someone they're not like, oh, let me just walk everywhere like this with my phone in my face, whether I'm 50 or I'm 20. Everywhere you go, you see it. Just watch the new Matrix movie. It just kind of gives a good example about how some people just are completely oblivious and just living out their lives and watching the news and just kind of going through their day-to-day, going through the motions, and not really living life to its fullest, and then really just watching a lot of other people live their lives. If that's affecting you negatively, get off this right now and go make your own video. Go do something, like get up, go do your own thing right now. But if you're looking for an opportunity, that's why you're probably scrolling through social media. You're looking and consuming content, random content for the most part. Like if you're looking for a good opportunity, you don't have to work with us. Work in the financial services space, because we need good people in this space to do a good job. There's a lot of people, like I said earlier, that don't do a good job in this business. And what that means to me is that I need to come in and step it up, and I need to help take good care of people, because if I don't do it, who else is going to? That's the way I look at it. So it's important to be around the right people. It's important to choose a good group. There's a wealth of information out there, and there's more than ever. So if you're looking to get into the Medicare space, if you're looking to get into the life insurance space, everyone owns it. So there's no shortage of opportunity. 10,000 people a day turn 65 and become Medicare eligible. A lot of people are working longer. A lot of people are living longer. People are having kids less often. So it looks like the senior generation that we have right now is probably one of the largest we'll ever have, at least as far as until my generation gets there, which apparently is as big, if not larger, than the current baby boomer. And then the other gens that come after that, I lose track, Z, Y, X, whatever they are. Like those groups are, they're transitioning into that role. It's a technology age, so instead of calling people, we're probably going to be texting, calling, email, TikTok, whatever the case may be. You're going to have to kind of stay in tune with the times and just be willing to have conversations with people, see them in person or over the phone or through messaging, and get the job done for them and help get these people going. So I just wanted to come to you live to say thank you for taking the time to watch this. Ryan Lodi, LC Financial Group, is who I'm with, and Ben Angie is our COO. And if you have any questions, you can contact either of those guys or myself through a message or a comment, like, share if you got any value from this. But I just want to answer the question one more time of why did I choose this industry? Well, recapping the video, I chose this industry because it has limitless opportunity. There's no shortage of opportunity in this business. You can make this thing go as big as you want it to go. You can create your own time in this business. You can create your own schedule. You can create your own office. You can create your own remote team. You can create an auto office, a life office, property and casualty office. We will be creating offices in all 50 states. Will you be in the state? Will you be one of the leaders, that is running an office one day for another company or in our company? I don't know, but it's possible. So I make these videos just to let you know that there's a lot of companies laying people off, and a lot of people think that they're not being paid what they're worth. If you feel that way, if that's you at all, if you're still watching this, if you've been watching this, or you're clicking through or you're tuning in, just know that you are valuable, you are worth something, and that, you can get what you put in. You get out what you put in. It's like a farmer. If he doesn't plow up the field and prepare it, he's not getting the goods when the season's right, And sometimes, you have a drought and things go unexpected and the water bill's a lot higher this year because we didn't get as much rain. You just have to be willing and able to, push and go above and beyond the normal expectations of what you're being asked to do. And if you do that, no matter where you are, you really can't be fired from your job. If you just really go above and beyond, put in the extra time and the extra hours. If you have a family, you really got to work hard because you really got to take care of your family if you have kids. So that's super important. I just want to emphasize the fact that, a lot of people do this who have kids. We've had people in their 60s, 70s, 80s. We've had 18-year-olds do this. And I would say there's an advantage to being at any age, but there's advantages all along the way. If you're 84, you got advantages. If you're 22, you got advantages into doing this kind of job. All you got to do is do what I'm doing right now and just have a communication with anyone you're talking to and be involved with the person, really care, find out what their wants are, find out what their needs are. Do they have any urgency? Can they afford it? And on every call, those 4 things have to be present for it to happen right now. In some cases, they have a want, they have a need, maybe they can't afford it. They have a want, they have a need, they can afford it, but it's not a priority, so you're not going to do it right now, but they'll do it later. That's all it is. That could happen to you at the grocery store. That could happen to you, when you're watching this. That could happen to you when you're trying to make a purchase of any kind. But any person who knows what they're doing when they're talking to you, they're looking for those 4 things: want, need, urgency, affordability. If you don't think that the thing that you're getting is worth more than the money in your pocket, then you're not going to pay that money. But if you do pay that money, you think that that thing is worth more than the money that you have. So you're willing to give that money for that thing. Money's just green paper. It's made up. It's an idea backed by confidence. That's all money is. It's just made up. They just print it. Money is grown on trees. Money comes from trees, and there's unlimited amounts of trees, so that's why the government prints it. Unfortunately, that's not good for the environment. But anyway, I wanted to just close out with that. I chose this industry because I really stumbled upon it, but I'm really glad that I did, and I wish that I would have found it when I was 18 years old, over 10 years ago. Had I done it then and just stuck with it and just been consistent and stayed in the game, we would be having a completely different conversation, because I would have way more wealth and opportunity that I would have created for myself over that time by sticking and staying in this industry. I hope that this video finds you well. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday night. Go ahead and you're going to get an extra hour of sleep tonight. Tonight, we have cell phones that automatically turn our times to the right time, but tonight, congratulations, you are getting 1 extra hour of sleep. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much for the time.